happened last year when we had a short rail strike. I've just heard some information that the House Commerce Committee plans hearings starting later this morning if a strike occurs. And since that's happened, it's possible that Congress will start taking a look at it as early as later this morning.
Carol, do you consider this a lockout?
No, we're talking about a shutdown of service in order to operate, to continue to have safe operation of the nation's railroads.
Carol, for those of our audience around the world that are watching, exactly how would this strike affect the American economy and the economy of people all over the world?
Well, the Department of Transportation was citing figures that it could have an impact of up to $50 million a day costing the economy. We were talking about industries like the automotive industry that rely on rail service to get their parts into automobiles and get the automobiles to market. Coal, 60% of the coal in this country is moved by rail. Chemicals that help purify water systems. There's just a tremendous impact that a shutdown of the rail system has on the economy.
Okay, Carol Perkins, spokesperson for the Association of American Railroads, we thank you very much. Joining us now on the telephone, Howard Robertson from Amtrak. Howard, your response to this?
Well, what happens with a freight railroad strike is Amtrak is immediately affected with that, because even though we operate over 24,000 miles of track per day, we only own about 750 miles of it, that being the Washington to Boston segment. So right now we have canceled all of the trains because of the freight railroad strike off the Northeast Corridor. We will continue to operate trains between Washington and Boston tomorrow, but because of the freight railroad strike, we will not be able to operate anything else.
Well, Howard, now how about all these passengers that are going to be stranded? What do they do?
Well, because of the strike that we were impending or anticipating, we canceled a lot of service in general anyhow. So we don't have any trains out there right now that are actually running because we anticipated a 12:01 strike. And so this is not going to be affecting that many passengers, but it will be affecting passengers tomorrow who were hoping that the 48-hour extension would provide Amtrak service. But because of the freight strike, this is not so.
Stranded passengers, of course, are you making any kind of preparations for them as far as maybe Greyhound buses, any kind of other transportation modes, airplanes?
Well, the stranded passengers can call the 1-800-USA-RAIL, and we'll try to accommodate them with the airlines and the buses that we've been dealing with.
Okay, Howard Robertson, thank you very much from Amtrak. Recapping our top story, freight railroads across the country have apparently shut down. The Machinists Union has gone out on strike against the CSX system, which is a major part of the railroad system of the United States. We will update you as we get more information and pass it along to you. This is CNN in Atlanta. I'm Brian Christie. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more news right after this.
For 3 years, you guys did nothing.
Wait, it's the Democrats' fault? Could have fooled me.
Nuclear power plant, despite criticism that the plant site is too risky and despite a worldwide decline in the commercial use of nuclear power. Now, Indonesia wants to build new reactors on Java, an island known for earthquakes and volcanoes. Officials insist there will be no safety or environmental problems. They say nuclear power is needed to fulfill the nation's energy needs. In other news, Austrian President Kurt Waldheim will soon be showing up in countries where he's not particularly welcome. Beginning Monday, the face of the Austrian president will appear on the country's newest 50-cent postage stamp. The stamp is meant to commemorate Waldheim's 6-year term as head of the state, which officially ends on July 8th. During Waldheim's years in office, he was snubbed by many nations because of charges he covered up his involvement with the Nazis during World War II. Waldheim denies any wrongdoing. That's going to do it for us. I'm Brian Christie at the CNN Center in Atlanta. We thank you very much for being with us tonight. Ron Hyde is here with a preview of what's ahead in Sports Late Night. Ron?
Thank you, Brian. Coming up on Sports Late Night, the Butch Reynolds story keeps running its course. Of course, action from day 2 at Wimbledon. And diamonds, of course, are a baseball player's best friend. Join us in just a few minutes for Sports Late Night.
Oh, your cat may